Mr. Harris here, and welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to talk about the periodic table. Now, first off, how did the periodic table even come about? So, right in the middle of the 19th century, there were already a couple of elements, more than 60, found or discovered. So, scientists had to find a way to organize them so that they're not all over the place. That is when this scientist, Dmitry Mendeleev, he made a great achievement in this field. Now, the problem with his periodic table was it was based on the mass of atoms. But later on, after the noble gases were found or discovered, this is what we call group 8 or group 0. That's the name of that particular group. We'll later learn what's the meaning of groups. So later on, some scientists further developed his periodic table into the periodic table that we have today. And in the periodic table that we have today, elements are arranged according to their atomic number. Now, back in the previous video, we learned about how atomic number is the same as the number of protons or the number of electrons in certain cases, unless if there are ions, then it's not. But for now, we'll just say that it's based on the number of protons. So let's look at the periodic table here. As mentioned, now we know the periodic table with the increase of atomic number. Now here, the atomic number can be found on the top here, and the name of the element will be found underneath, and in the middle you'll find the atomic symbol. So here, let me show you back here again. Now you can see the periodic table is going with an increasing number of protons, or with the increase of the atomic number. You can see it's going 1, 2, and it will go down 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth. Okay, and until they're like hundreds, they're actually roughly around 120, 119 elements. And also, if we look at it horizontally, meaning from left to right, if I look at it like this is what we call periods. Periods, okay? And in total, you can see there are 7 periods. Like, for example, this is period 1 going from left to right. If I would say this is period 5, so I would be looking at it from left to right. And also, we have something called groups. Now, groups would be from top to bottom, up to down. So here, let's say, for example, this is group 1. I'll look at it vertically, going downwards. Group 2. Group 3 would be here. Okay, this is not group 3. There's a reason why that's not group 3. We'll learn it later. But for now, this is how we look at a periodic table. So horizontally from left to right, there are periods, the one that I drew in blue. From top to down, those are called groups. So for example, if I were to say, hey, can you help me find the element located at period 3 and group number 5? So period 3, we'll first look at period 3. Period 3 is over here. That means all of these elements going across. And I said group 5, right? So where is group 5? So you can see these are Roman numerals. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, or 8, whatever it is. So period 3, group 5, you can see group 5 is here going down, and it is phosphorus. So this is a way that we could communicate with one another. We could say, hey, go to period 3, group 5, and tell me what's the element. Okay? So as mentioned, there are 7 periods from periods 1 to 7. The horizontal rows from left to right, they're called periods. And those that are vertical from groups 1 to 0, they're called groups. Also, maybe you notice the color. Now, those that are in blue, they are considered to be metals. Those that are in pink, a bit less, they're called non-metals. And those that are in green, now there are only like a couple of examples for that, they're called semi-metals, or what we call metalloids. And you've learned about what they are already. And in the middle over here, remember I said we don't really consider this to be group 3? It's because they are a very special group. We call this group the transition elements. Now, these group of elements, they have very different chemical properties from those that are in these groups. So basically we separate them into you can say sort of a separate part, and we call them all transition elements. But if you notice one thing, most of them here are metals because they're blue in color. But to be honest, in an actual periodic table that you find, you will not really see this blue color or pink color. This is just for our convenience sake. That's why they colored it for you. Okay, so let's wrap up this part. In the modern periodic table, elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic number. The horizontal rows, that means those who are going from left to right, they're called periods. Yep, remember, this was from left to right. And to help you remember that, remember it's horizontal, right? Horizontal starts with H, period starts with P, and you know what does H, if you're into gaming, you should know what does HP stand for. Usually it stands for hit points, so hopefully that helps you remember that. And for the vertical columns, they are called, remember this is from up to down or top to bottom, whatever you want to write. Vertical columns, they're called groups. Okay, so this is it for the periodic table. I'll see you in the next video.